Joining me right now, Mr. Miles Nielsen. How's it going today, buddy?
Double T.
How's it going?
Oh, man, it's like borderline spring. Feeling pretty good about that.
It's
Feeling
nice.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Now, will you move the hoops game outside, or do you stay inside no matter what time of year?
Man, I wish I could do the hoops game outside. Every once in a while, we'll get a group together that plays. A buddy of mine's got a nice court out there. I think it's in Caledonia. In his backyard, which is. We get a nice little 3-on-3 action going out there, but hoops game stays inside. We got today we got a little game down at the Y, and then tomorrow we've got our men's league down at the UW Sports Factory. It's actually the playoffs start tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, we're gearing up.
How'd you finish?
I think we're the 5 seed.
Okay.
Yeah. No, for a bunch of we're like the Bad News Bears, man. We're like pull a couple guys out of retirement.
Right.
Put the old musician guy in there who just wants to just shoot threes,
Are you Kelly Leak?
No.
From the Bad News Bears?
No.
With the motorbike?
I'm not sure which one I'd be on there. Who's like the guy who tries to get everybody together, Like, come on, guys, I'm trying to bring my wisdom in. I'm the oldest guy on the team, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's so strange. Like, I was always the youngest guy, born in July, your birthday falls late in the year. You're always the young guy on the team, And when I was playing soccer, years ago, I played like two leagues up from my age.
Okay.
So I was like always the young guy.
Right.
And then this year I'm coming in, I basically haven't played in an actual league with refs in years because, we've been busy playing shows. And it's strange. I'm like, man, I'm the oldest dude out here.
I like to call that the crafty veteran.
Yeah, definitely some vet moves out there. I like pull the shirt on one side and then the shorts on the other, and then they don't know which way the guy's coming from.
Right.
Definitely some of those moves.
So what are you playing? Are you running the point?
No, I'm definitely the shooting guard.
Shooting guard,
yeah.
Okay.
Because when you get older, you're just like you don't care. You're like I'm not afraid to launch.
Right.
So I just
from anywhere on the floor.
Anywhere.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm just come down and pull up.
I've seen your skills at the Y. You've got some shooting skills.
Yeah, I can shoot the basketball. I think that's what happens when you hurt yourself. I ruptured my Achilles about 5 years ago.
Right.
And I always liked to drive the basketball prior to that. And then once I did that, I was terribly afraid of anything that had to do with any sort of driving of the basketball. So I was like, man, I'm just going to start shooting, man. I'm just going to start shooting. So I just, I've developed into a shooter.
You got to change your game.
Got to go with it, man. Because let's be honest, I got you can slide a piece of paper under my jump. My vert is pretty bad. It's like, yeah, I got a picture from a friend recently. I was like, ooh, that's as high as I'm getting up. Way higher.
I can't even get a piece of paper underneath my jump. So you're good.
We'll see. We'll get you down that regiment. We'll get you in the game.
All right. If you ever need a 10th man, if you get a 50-point lead, I'm your guy.
Okay. We'll get you in there, get you like a Scalabrini. We'll get you 5-6 quick fouls right out of the gate. Like just take down their big guy.
I played on the 8th grade basketball team at my middle school. I led the team in fouls.
Nice. You got to lead in something.
I had 3 points that year.
Ooh. All right. Like a 2 and a foul, or what? A 2 and a free throw, or
a 2 and a free throw.
Okay.
I made 1 free throw.
Yeah, nice.
So, you got to have
that was before
skills.
the three-pointer was really a thing.
Yeah. We were, you were still bumping and grinding.
Yeah.
Back in those
post
days.
moves, man.
Yeah, exactly. I was the rebounder.
Oh yeah, the round mound of rebound like Chuck.
You gotta use the bows, man.
Yeah.
The elbows get you going.
I know I've caught a few in the mouth.
You gotta be careful, man. You can't have bruises on that face for playing.
I hide it with the beard.
Is that why you have the beard?
Oh
now?
yeah, because it's all bruised up. No, man, the beard is just a warmth, and then it becomes a thing, and then all of a sudden, you start getting photos taken of you looking a certain way, and then you're like, well, I can't change my look now.
Right.
People wouldn't know who I am.
Yeah, that's true.
And then when I do shave, even in my house, people don't know. They're like, there's strange. There's a one-armed man, and it's different. So you become accustomed to a look. You've had the goatee kind of thing for quite some time.
I'm talking to Miles Nielsen. Seriously though, when you're working on a new album, we'll talk about that in just a bit. But as you're doing photos and photo shoots for publicity photos and for the album artwork and everything, you really kind of do have to stay with a certain look for a little while, don't you?
I think so. I mean, I think it's an actual thing that you have to be conscious of. If you're like, hey, look, this is how I look on the record. With all the other guys looking sort of similarly in their own right. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, I'll take this photo, put it on a new record, and then you have to keep in mind, you probably take this photo 6 to 8 months prior to the record coming out.
Right.
Probably not a good idea to go change your look completely. Because then the record comes out, and they're like, how long ago was this taken?
Right.
This record's lame.
Yeah,
this is old.
These guys are, these guys. It's a different band.
Yeah.
This isn't the band I saw.
Yeah, this is
Saturday
not
night.
the band. This is not the band with the mustaches and the beards. Yeah, it's a thing to think about. I mean, as silly as that sounds, but I mean, let's be honest. People. There's a band called Kiss that, like, what if they came out after they all their makeup, and then all of a sudden, which they did do, but
right.
much later in their career, but all of a sudden, their first record comes out and they just show up and they're just like guys dressed in sports shorts with some flip-flops. You'd be like, what?
That doesn't work.
That's not Kiss.
Well, you remember Metallica, they went away for a while and then they released an album and they all cut their hair.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
Yeah.
who's this? I don't get it.
This band is not cool.
This isn't my band that I listen to. What happened to their hair?
Well, we kind of know what happens to your hair over time.
It happens to the best of us.
So the one thing, man, I just, they're like, what would you want? I'm like, some super kinky big hair. Always wanted that.
Yeah, same with.
There he is. Where is Captain Jack?
I'm surprised
he shows up.
I'm surprised he's here before 10 o'clock.
I had a message on social media that someone was waiting for me.
Out in the parking lot.
Yeah. You guys going to do a bench off later?
What's that?
A bench off?
Yeah, totally. I'm going to sit on the bench at the basketball game, and he's going to lift weights. Yeah.
Miles Nielsen. So new music from Miles Nielsen and the Rusted Hearts coming our way, huh?
Yeah, we have actually I brought 3 copies of the EP that we just had delivered yesterday, and we're releasing it on the 26th down at Memorial Hall. We're doing a show for the Rockford Promise, which is a good cause. And hopefully we can raise about $8,000 for a scholarship fund. And it would actually be named the Miles Nielsen and the Rusted Hearts Scholarship.
Really?
Yeah, if we can raise $8,000. So people, you got to show up on April 26th down to Memorial Hall in downtown Rockford. But I brought 3 copies today to give away if they're not out yet for another, whatever that is, 10 days or something.
Right.
So, it's called In the Meantime, and it's a 4-song EP that we recorded each song on a different stop off of a tour, and when we were touring throughout the last, 2 years, we just would stop for a day or two and just record a song, write a song, record a song, and these are the 4 that we felt like, man, these turned out really good, and these are the 4 that we sort of digitally released, but not really pushed, and now they're all 4 on the same little EP called In the Meantime.
I remember you would post them on basically social media to share with people, and then if you want it, you can get it here. And I remember my favorite was Revolution Day.
Yeah.
That was a really good song. Talk a little bit about the artwork on the front too. I know people can't see it, but maybe we can describe it because this is really unique.
Yeah, it's Andy Warhol, not Warhol,
right?
Warhol.
Local guy.
He's an insanely talented artist. He's done every record cover that we have put out, and he wrote me and he said, "I need you to take photos of each member of the band straight on and from the side, and then and send them to me. I have an idea." I said, "All right." So I sent him one, and I said, "Is this what you're thinking?" And he said, "Perfect." Now so I sent him just the 5 of us and straight on, and then he sent me back that album cover. 2 weeks later, I was like, he's created a face with all 5 of our faces, and it turned out. I've posted it twice, I think, and both times people are just like, man, I want that as a poster. I want that artwork. So.
And as you're worrying about the stuff that goes on it. The music part, to be able to just send it and trust somebody, it's huge.
Yeah, it's invaluable, really. When you can just say, like, I have no fear that the art is going to match the product, every time, and half the time the art outdoes the product. We're like, man, This is this is gonna sit somewhere, and people aren't even gonna know what it is, but they're gonna want that based on just how it looks.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I want a poster.
Yeah.
I want a T-shirt. I mean, I want
Yeah, you had
multiple
mentioned
things.
like, hey, are you gonna put that on a T-shirt? I'm like, well, it almost begs for it. I
Right.
mean, it's like so perfect. We haven't made a pink shirt yet either, and I feel like, man, that would look really great on a pink shirt.
Yeah, almost like a salmon.
Yeah, like salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you. Oh,
Well, it's because the
salmon.
guy in the office next
yeah.
door, he dresses fancy sometimes. And
Well, he's got a nice tan.
stuff. But not only this is cool. This is a little, in between thing
Yeah.
for the fans, but you also have some real new music.
Yeah, we have
Coming.
we have
This isn't real, but
Yeah. That's all fake. It's weird when you listen to it; it just evaporates. No, yeah, we have 13 new songs that we actually are while we speak, are actually being mixed in Lexington, Kentucky, by our guy Dwayne Lundy. And it's a different record for us. I mean, the process was different. It was recorded over the course of the last 10 months. So it was. We would record. We would go out and play shows, make some money, come back, record. We would go out. So it was very much. I don't know, a piecemeal record, which every time you would pull it up, you'd be like, oh, we did that the last time. Oh, okay, got to get back into it. But I mean, I feel like at the end result is, man, we've got a really fun, strong 13-song record that I'm hoping to have out. Realistically, summer's a terrible time to release records, so we're looking at early fall release.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So somewhere in the September, probably. I'm thinking late September. Early October, this record will be out, and we're hoping to not play any of it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you,
You know?
because I remembered you said that you weren't going to play any.
Yeah, we don't
Wondered
want
if
to
you
do
were
any of it live because we want it to be as much as of a treat for us to play 13 new songs live as it is for everybody else to hear them. Last time we did half the record before it came out, and by the time the record came out, we only had 5 new songs really to play. And we're like, well, that's kind of lame.
It felt like a lot longer.
Yeah.
That you've been,
and
that
people
it's been
already
around.
knew it, so they're like, "Oh, I like this song. The recording version's cool." You're like, "Yeah, just I don't want to have a big surprise."
Right? Are you playing it for anybody at all, or
I haven't
besides
played it. I haven't played it for anyone. All it's been is rough mixes
Okay.
too. So the mixes aren't in proper form. So I really hate to, it's like you don't want to show your kid off when it's still cooking in the oven.
Right.
You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, my baby's just starting to form limbs.
Right.
Look at how cute.
It's just the beginning
I'd
stages.
really like to just wait till it's fully developed and here it is, and then it's I want everybody to hear it in the correct context. So once we get some an actual mastered version of the record, I'll share it with a bunch of people. I'm sure.
Right.
I mean, not with you, of course.
Well, of
but,
course not.
I'll share it with Captain Jack.
You'll charge me double.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah,
CD.
you'll have to buy the Dropbox link from me.
I see how it is.
Uh-huh.
I see how it works. Miles Nielsen joining me. Now, we talked about the new music, this new EP that's going to be available next Friday, but there's a bunch of shows coming up, too.
Yeah, shows.
So
Lots of
next,
shows.
the first one next Friday at Veterans Memorial Hall, which is kind of a home away from home for you guys, right?
Yeah, we try to do, every year for tradition sake, we definitely do the show on the Black Friday, which is, the Friday after Thanksgiving. That's been, I think we've done 4 or 5 years straight there. I think maybe even more.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm bad with those kind of details, but and then we've been doing a spring show in April every year, and then last year we had a senior project that came through, and actually this kid Cole, he approached us about he wanted to hire our band to do this show for the Rockford Promise for his senior project, and man, he knocked it out as a promoter first time, and so they had such success with it last year that they were doing it again this year. So this year, again, raising money for scholarships for kids to go on to college. Rockford Promise, kids that might not be able to go. Kids, I guess maybe my details on it are a little off sometimes, but that's the details. But
you can look it up,
you can look it up,
and it's
also,
a great program.
I know the tickets are on the Eventbrite site. If you
Okay.
just look up Miles Nielsen on Eventbrite, You can get tickets on that site for sure, because I just looked up the link yesterday. And we're excited about that show. This coming Saturday, we're in Three Oaks, Michigan for a 420 show in Three Oaks at the Acorn Theater. Then, following that, we head out to like Asheville and Greenville, South Carolina, and Nashville, and then play a bit around the area, and then we go down into Mexico for a festival down there and play some shows in the Arizona markets, and then come back and do a show at the Sylvie in Madison with Cheap Trick on June 13th.
Heard of those guys?
Yeah, they're from here apparently.
Yeah, I think they might be okay.
Someone asked me about them. I said, I don't know, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something like that. I was like, well, I'm in the Rammy Hall of Fame.
By the way, did you see our Rammy? We got a Rammy. I'll show it to you when we're done here.
Yeah. I heard we won another one too. We were out playing. So I mean, it's like we always miss the Rammys generally because we're out playing.
Right. And it's funny because you think about it because it's usually like a Friday night.
Yeah.
And a lot of bands are out playing on that night.
Well, I always say, like, can we do the Rammys on like a Sunday or a Thursday? Because that would save a lot of musicians from having to take work off.
Right.
And when it's the Musician Industry Awards, you're kind of like, the musician industry needs to keep rolling.
Right.
Just a thought.
Yeah, it's hard to take a Friday night off. Yeah. It's a big night. That's a new theater up in Madison too.
It is. Sylvie. Yeah, the Sylvie just opened up this year. Actually, Dan and I went up for the opening night. Hung out with the Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats guys, so that was cool. I mean, it was a beautiful spot. It's not too far from the High Noon Saloon, right there on Washington. It's great room. So
and Cheap Trick, they're out doing these headlining shows, which in the summertime lately they've been doing the big package tours.
Yeah, the big package tours. Those are fun. And that's not what the tour's called.
No. maybe you need a tour called the Big Package Tour.
Yeah, well, false advertisement. But Cheap Trick, man, it's interesting. It's like they go from doing like, smaller, not smaller, but like middle-sized clubs to then like the big sheds. And, that's got to be such an interesting way. But they're doing a ZZ Top tour too this summer, which I'm like, man, I want to go see ZZ Top. I haven't seen ZZ Top maybe in 20 years or something like that. So
I saw them the last time they were here. Still really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Billy Gibbons, right? Like, didn't Hendrix say that Billy Gibbons was like his favorite guitar player?
Yes.
I mean, when Hendrix is saying that, that's really something.
That really, that tells you something about his playing. It's pretty decent.
Pretty okay. Yeah.
And you guys are at this spot now where you're playing different sort of venues and, not just like a club or something. Some of the places you play are so unique.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, a lot of people, I think, have repurposed their, like, they found these old cool barns and people that own properties and things like that, where you're like, we're playing, like, cool barn spots, we're playing people's houses, we're playing kind of anywhere possible, really. I mean, the limits to the show thing these days are, if there's a roof on it, if there's electricity, if people can get to it, let's play it. It's much different than like we're going on a club circuit, or we're going to go and play like all the hippest. And it's like, we don't really need that validation. We just want to go where people are.
Right. So where people are going to sit and enjoy your music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not have the game, when we all love games, above your head.
Yeah. Or even like there's a club in Yorkville called the Law Office. A lawyer actually in Yorkville, this guy Boyd, he created this music venue, and there's not a TV in there, but it's a bar.
Oh, wow.
There's not a single TV in there. The whole focus is the stage.
Right.
And it's like, that's a true music venue.
Yeah.
And it's pretty enjoyable to be in a situation where, no one's going to be distracted by anything but what's happening on stage.
Right. They're focusing on you and your music. So next Friday, the 26th, Veterans Memorial Hall, benefit for Rockford Promise, the new EP. In the meantime, will be released there sometime in the fall, looking for a new full album.
Yeah. I mean, all exciting stuff. Like I said, I left you 3 copies so you can give them away at your discretion.
I will. We will do that just for you.
I'm not sure how you're going to do that, but I'm curious to find out.
Well, we will let you know. If people want to find out about your dates and everything, where's the best places to go?
Yeah, it's just milesnielsen.com, which is MilesNielsen. I'm a Danish, not Swedish guy.
Well, thanks for coming in and hanging out.
Absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure to be here. And I'm just trying to stay away from those donuts out in the other room.
I'm going to walk you by them.
I got to go hit the gym.
Steph's out there with one for you right now.
Jeez, scared me.